Hello, I'm Jim Campbell. I'm a PhD candidate in the Department of Spatial Information Science and Engineering at the University of Maine. And I'd like to take a few minutes to give you some idea of some of the research focuses that I'm interested in this department. In general terms, my interests focus on access to information, including spatial information, privacy in the digital age, and passing on our intellectual heritage to those who will follow us. In terms of access to information, there are two aspects that particularly interest me. One is policy and legal access, and the other is what I would call findability access. In terms of policy and legal access, in the U.S., our copyright system is based on Article 1, Section 8 of the Constitution, in which Congress is empowered to promote the progress of science and useful arts by securing for limited times to authors and inventors the exclusive right to their respective writings and discoveries. That's essentially a social contract. Creators get exclusive rights for a limited time, and the culture eventually gets to reuse created works in new and useful ways. Due to changes in our copyright laws over the past 40 years, and to the technological controls that are available when works are in digital forms these days, many feel that the social contract has gotten significantly out of balance. As one example, access to the results of taxpayer-funded research in both the U.S. and in many other countries, including spatial information, has been privatized, and taxpayers wind up paying twice for the results of research that they fund. A second area of interest for me regarding access to information is findability access. How can we deal with the data deluge in spatial information and in other scientific data so that we can find just the data we need, essentially find the needle in the haystack? Both traditional taxonomic approaches and Web 2.0 crowdsourcing and folksonomy approaches have something to offer in this regard. But how do we integrate them effectively? Privacy. I'm interested in exploring exactly what privacy means in the digital age, and how can at least some aspects of traditional privacy be preserved today as we more fully enter the age of location-based services? 91% of Americans use cell phones, for example, and of ubiquitous computing. Finally, I'm interested in exploring ways that we can effectively pass on our intellectual heritage to those who come after us so that they can use it to develop their own cultures and pass that on to their heirs. This, I think, requires preserving and strengthening the intellectual commons and the public domain. How can we best do that today? So, those are three key areas that I'm interested in as I work here in the Department of Spatial Information Science and Engineering at the University of Maine. Thanks very much for your attention.